Hello there, and this is Borodino, and I got a new guitar, and decided to make a review video of it. It's a 7-string Russian guitar, and if you subscribe to my channel, you know that I really like guitar. Music is my hobby, and mostly classical, and I'm really interested in folk music, and so I've got some videos on my channel with a classical guitar, and also I bought a balalaika. I'm an American, but I live in Russia now, and I'm always looking for different classical music, especially Russian classical music, and for guitar especially. And in my search, I always found almost all of it was composed for the 7-string guitar. And up until the Revolution, the 7-string guitar was dominant. There really weren't many 6-string guitars here until about the middle of the 20th century. And so I decided, well, maybe I'll try to learn to play the 7-string guitar, and that's the reason I bought this thing here. This is a Doff is the name of the company. They're a stringed instrument company out of St. Petersburg here in Russia, and they make a whole line of guitars and balalaikas as well. I think they make dombras. I think they even make romantic guitars and Baroque style guitars. I didn't realize whether or not I wanted to keep playing 7-string guitar as a regular thing. So I just want a guitar I could learn on a little bit, and especially something cheap and simple. And if I decide later that I really like 7-string guitar, then I'll continue and buy a nicer one than this one. So this is kind of an entry-level guitar, the Doff RGC, Russian guitar classical. Classical because it has nylon strings. Now they also make a 7-string with steel string. I don't like steel string guitars generally. It's not I prefer classical, and I don't like the sound of metal strings. I prefer nylon, so that's why I picked this one. I paid 16,500 rubles, which right now it's about 122 US dollars, or 160 British pounds, or 180 euros right now. It's all solid wood. That's a big plus. It has a solid spruce top, Caucasian spruce, and the back and sides are solid maple, and also the neck is maple as well. The fretboard is palisander, which is another name for rosewood, and also the bridge is rosewood. I should say this part of the bridge, the saddle is bone. I don't know what kind of bone. And the website says that the nut is bone, but actually this is obviously plastic of some sort. And the neck is bolted on. It's a bolt-on neck. And generally, I'm pretty happy with the instrument. I've been playing it now for about 3 weeks, and learning a few pieces. So it's got a bolt-on neck, and you can see there's a little gap. The fretboard is not connected to the soundboard on the guitar, and this is actually, I had another classical guitar that was Russian made. I think it was made in the 70s, and it was the same design. So you had this kind of raised area, and also it's the neck. The action can be adjusted with this an Allen wrench. You can use an Allen wrench to adjust the action. Although I'm pretty happy with the action as it arrived from the store. By the way, I bought it from a company here in Russia, Muztorg, which is a chain of music stores here. Also, another nice thing is it has a strap peg in the end if you used it for singing, or you're wanted to perform standing up. And so I'm pretty happy with the guitar. The volume is good. But there's one thing I wanted to point out that I think is kind of a negative. The nut, I measured it. It's 53 millimeters right here width. And a standard classical guitar, a 6-string, is 52. My classical is a 52. It's 52 millimeters. So they basically squeezed 7 strings onto a standard classical guitar fretboard. Now, how did they do this? Well, if you look here, you've basically got on the 7th string, you've got about 2 millimeters of clearance there. And if you look on the frets, that string is right on the bevel. And it's pretty easy, I noticed, to push that string over the edge. I've done that a few times, and I mean, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be like that, but it could stand to be a little bit wider. The same issue here on the first string, although they have a little bit more space. I have had some problems. For example, if I have like this, where my little finger is going straight in, perpendicular, a lot of times I end up pulling that thing over the edge. And the same here. You've got to be careful. Or if you're playing like on the 7th fret, it's got a tendency to pull up. You have to be careful. For me, it's not a deal breaker. I think because it's basically a beginner's guitar, but I think I would be, if I were going to get a nicer guitar, I'd want it to be a little bit wider. Also, they do have fret guide markings, but they're really hard to see from this vantage. So I guess it's not a big issue. So that's the main drawback of this here guitar. So that's about it for the Doff RGC. I recommend it. I'm happy with it. It's a very inexpensive way to kind of learn a little bit about 7-string and see if I like it or not, and maybe I won't. But I've looked pretty extensively. I did not see any nylon string 7-string guitars that were any cheaper. So it's about the cheapest you can get, and it's a good way to get your feet wet, so to speak, whether you want to play 7-string guitar or not. All solid wood, which is nice. I mean, nobody wants to play a laminate guitar, and everything's good except the fretboard could stand to be just a smidgen wider, but otherwise I'm real happy with it. and I plan to be making some more videos, and I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel. And over the coming weeks, I plan to post a lot of different clips specifically on this guitar, and of course they're very short. I promise they won't be longer than probably 30 seconds or a minute. So if you wanted to see what Doff is capable of, or what I'm capable of, go ahead and subscribe and follow my progress. Also, I'll put a link down below to the Doff website so you can see what they've got available there. So I thank you for your attention, and yeah, so long, my droogies.